It's time for today's Face-Off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Process how these grown women lay down, spread their legs open for Brazilian wax, and let a child do it. And no matter how I wrap my head around it, I simply cannot fathom it. I want to see every one of those women arrested and put on the sex offender list. Because you have to be one messed up individual to literally lay down and do that. And at this point, there's just no telling what you're willing to do. But I really want to talk to the mother, because really the mother, she is a piece of work. Now Child Protective Services is investigating the mother, as they should, but I want to make sure y'all don't forget to circle back to everybody else. Police, don't forget to circle back to those women, just in case y'all lose track of the goal here. She needs to go to jail. And
in this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, a shocking story coming out about a mother who is obviously some type of beautician, and she gives Brazilian waxes. And she went on social media bragging about how her daughter, her 5-year-old daughter, had helped her to give these Brazilian waxes, and that her child had made several $100s in the process. It angered me and disgusted me that any mother would allow her 5-year-old child to get between the butt-naked legs of another female and give her any type of wax, any type of service. Every woman that laid down and allowed that child to give them a wax should be locked up and charged. The mother should be arrested and charged also. I am not an advocate for family services taking children from parents. In fact, I'm counter that. But in this case, I don't think this mother's qualified to guarantee us that she'll protect that baby from such egregious, sick, sinful behavior as what was witnessed on social media with pictures and videos of her child giving grown women waxes. That upset me, Charles. I remember when I was 13, and I gave a couple of Brazilian waxes, but I was 13. And I had to learn to teach myself on the job training. So you get the wax. But
what was this little part?
Excuse me?
What was this little part?
It's a part of the wax.
Okay.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
But go ahead.
You were giving Brazilians out when you were 13?
Yeah, I gave
your mom, her friends, who?
Well, one was my mom's friend.
Okay.
She got drunk.
You think that? Oh, she got drunk, so you sexually assaulted her when you were 13.
Her name was Mona.
Do you think, okay.
Her name was Mona.
Do you think she should be in prison?
Who, Mona?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't upset about that.
Did you think?
I was angry that when she sobered up, I couldn't give them no more waxes.
Okay.
I have to be honest.
Here's the thing. You know, this is probably, let's mark it down, viewers. This is the first time that Quanell did not refer to an African-American woman as the focus of the story as sister whatever, and he's actually calling for consequences for her. And I would say that I disagree at least with some of it. First of all, the sex offender registry. You know, as a policeman, I investigated pedophiles. The sex offender registry is just for pedophiles. In fact, we put too many teenagers and people in their young 20s for statutory rape. We label them for life as sex offenders, and it's inappropriate. Most certainly these women, right, that went in to get wax jobs, there's nothing to suggest that they did it in a sexualized manner or they were even aware that the girl was going to be involved in the process. Now,
but
this
when
does
they
take,
knew?
this does take it to a whole nother level of bring your daughter to work day. But the truth is these Brazilian waxes, they're not supposed to be sexualized. It's not supposed to be a sexual manner. I think it's gross. I think it's inappropriate. But and when you talk about
so
not
you don't
saying,
think the women should be charged?
No, absolutely
who allowed
not.
a 5-year-old girl to
not.
get between their legs, butt naked, and give them a Brazilian wax?
I think that we should have, in all African-American women, to my understanding, absolutely not. I don't think any of them should be charged. I do think the mother should be subjected to a parenting plan and counseling.
No, the hell with a parenting plan. She
right?
needs a jail plan.
There are parents, you talk about, I don't like CPS taking kids. CPS often fails to take kids that are getting horrifyingly abused. You know who they fail the most? Young black children. right? And we also force so many black children inappropriately into the foster system. We have all of these problems, right? What isn't a problem is this young beautician bringing her, try to involve her daughter in her workspace. Now, it was a bad idea.
So
it was
what's
kinda
next,
gross.
Charles? If she stooped this low at 5 years old, what would she do at 7, 8, 9, and
But
10?
it's not supposed to be.
I don't trust this mother. That's a
not
disgrace.
Sexual.
And her mama need her ass whooped.
Hey, I think the
and all
mom
those women, grown women,
needs
who
some
let that
intervention.
child do that to them,
She needs
need
to take
their
some
ass
parenting
whooped.
classes.
I disagree with
She
that.
needs to get on a parenting plan. CPS
Yes.
needs to be involved.
I know a parenting
but
plan.
we don't need prison.
Get a belt
We don't need
and whoop
sex
her
offender
ass
regime.
all the way to
we
a
don't
jail
need to be
cell.
a
Whoop her
beating
to a
adult
jail
people.
cell.
Here's someone that was so involved with their work and their child. And that's another thing we have a real problem in America, right? We talk about, Republicans, we're going to do away with abortion. Now they're doing away with IVF based on the Bible there in Alabama. It's craziness. But Republicans don't want to help young struggling mothers with daycare and other services to encourage poor people of all races to have children, right? This mother probably doesn't have the option of putting this child in daycare. And
Charles,
probably
what
inappropriately
that mother
involved her.
did, bragging about how much money the child made.
She obviously did
She's
not.
a damn pimp.
She obviously.
That mama's a
no,
pimp.
it wasn't sexual.
That's what she is.
If you look at the
You
video, it
let your
wasn't-
5-year-old daughter get butt naked
I-
between the legs of grown women?
the daughter wasn't butt naked.
No, the women were butt naked.
Right.
And her daughter between their legs, butt naked, touching their private parts.
Actually,
How
I
in
would-
the hell? That's
I
not
would assume
pedophilia.
she was
That is
just-
child
I
pedophilia.
assume she was just touching the wax strips, and just because you, when you
Charles,
were 13, apparently went
Charles,
too
when
far
you do
with
a Brazilian
drunk person.
wax-
Apparently, you sexually assaulted someone at 13 with
How,
wax.
Charles?
Well, she was drunk. You just
She
said
was wide awake,
she didn't let you
Charles.
do it.
She was wide awake, Charles.
Okay.
Because she was telling me, come up that part right there. Go down right there. Oh, yeah, right there. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you get lost? Are you okay? Can we bring it back to the show, to the listeners here?
I
I mean,
had to
I
relapse
don't
for a minute.
know how anyone does. I'll tell you, just the thought of a Brazilian makes my beehole clench up. I don't know how anybody doing it,
Yeah, but
right?
see- but
What's
see-
wrong with
but
a
see-
razor?
but
A
see-
razor gets this smooth
But
bald
see,
head
you got
smooth.
you got that
Oh,
lassie hair.
you
got that lassie hair.
Okay.
You remember
so
Lassie?
I got the Lassie
you
hair.
remember Lassie?
I do remember
You
Lassie.
remember Lassie? You got that lassie hair.
Okay. Is that another?
See, you ain't got this kind of hair. You see that there?
I don't know if that hair's
You see-
real,
you
man.
see
That
that?
looks
Oh,
like
it's
LeBron's
real
hair.
deal, but
That
look.
looks like LeBron's hair after he got
Now
some
you
added
gonna
on.
disrespect LeBron?
I mean, he's got some fake hair
gonna
on
disrespect
top.
LeBron?
I love LeBron.
Let me tell you something,
I mean,
you,
here's
Brenner.
Jordan.
Let me tell you something,
Kobe,
you, Brenner.
Shaquille,
The white
Kareem,
Charles Barkley. Let me tell you something.
Larry Bird, LeBron.
Le-
Let's keep it
LeBron's
straight.
the greatest basketball player ever in
But-
NBA history.
Better than Jordan?
Yes.
Man, you out your fool mind.
Absolutely.
Right? First off,
I'm
this
Team LeBron.
Jasmine Moss shouldn't be in jail. She should get some
they all
counseling.
should be in
Her
jail.
daughter should get some counseling. But damn it, Michael Jordan is the best athlete, not just best basketball player, the best athlete in the
them
history
crazy
of athletes.
broads in jail.
Hey man, how many of them finals?
And that mama too.
How many of them finals LeBron lost?
You ain't nothing but a hater, man. That's your problem. You just
How many? How many?
Through 5 miscarriages before we turned to IVF. We went through 3 cycles of IVF. I have 2 beautiful children. As a result of it, we depleted our entire life savings. Each cycle was not covered at the time. It's $30,000. And it was important enough for us. Now, we did do frozen embryos, but because we are Catholic, we knew that we couldn't destroy the embryos because they are, in our view, children. And we couldn't just give them up for research because, in our view, they were children. And so we were, I feel, responsible in the sense that we used every single embryo. And if every single embryo became a child, then we were going to take care of that child. And we don't have any frozen embryos left, thank God.
Right.
Because I would probably have a baby.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
That was Sonny Hostin on The View speaking out in support of an Alabama judicial decision that establishes, at least for the state of Alabama, in criminal law and civil law purposes, that fertilized eggs through the IVF process, for people that have trouble conceiving naturally, are actual human beings, and that said destruction is a crime. So physicians, people in the medical industry, parents seeking the process could face criminal prosecution and imprisonment for this, and the end result is that IVF simply won't be available to the good citizens of Alabama. And these are people that want to have families. And it's insane. It shows you how Republicans get so many things so very wrong when they allow Christofascism or theology to impact decision-making process. This opinion actually cited the Bible, and it's insane, especially when you look at that Republicans are so quick to condemn the Sharia law that exists in most of the Islamist world, and its subjugation of women, and its subjugation of non-Muslims, and all of these issues, right? But yet they embrace it when it's tied to their own religious views. And it's absolutely obscene, and I think that Sonny Hostin, a very intelligent woman, but she is being infected by letting her religious beliefs push her to support policies that oppress others. And it's absolutely insane. Alabama got it wrong, and this Republican nonsense is why, after 2 years of a crap job Biden was doing, this big red wave turned into a red trickle, because Republicans are too damn busy telling women what they should do with their own bodies.
You know, Sonny Hostin spoke about a real troubling time in her marriage with her husband and their attempt to have a family. And she spoke about how long it took them to do that and what they had to go through. But she spoke from her heart that she believes that once those eggs were fertilized and those embryos are there, that they are life. And so the Alabama court ruled that the embryos are life. The eggs are fertilized, they're now life. I too believe that once life has been conceived, it is life. We cannot say, oh, it's life in a week. It's life in 2 months. It's life in 1 month. But it's not life in 5 weeks. It's not life in 6 weeks. It's not life in 1 week. We can't have it both ways, Charles. And I believe that there's a better way. Once you have eggs like that are stored up, that are fertilized, you don't have to destroy them. You don't have to donate them to science. I understand that. But you don't have to destroy them either, because when you do that, you are taking away life.
Most doctors and most scientists say that post-viability is when life is created, right? And while I personally, I disagree to some extent, right? I have a personal problem with abortion, right? But I don't think that my personal religious beliefs should ever be imposed on other people to the point that it controls them of individual liberty, right? Now, it's different. I don't think people should be able to kill other people or assault other people or commit crimes against third parties. But science says that life is post-viability, and religion says
some scientists say that.
The overwhelming majority
Not all,
of science,
Charles.
the overwhelming majority.
For some doctors say no.
The reality
it's
is
once conception takes place.
The reality is the overwhelming majority, and those people that say it's at conception typically are basing that on religion and not science. And the truth is,
I think you may be wrong.
The truth is, I'm absolutely not wrong. There's no thinking about it. Do some research.
Life
but the
is
truth
life,
is,
Charles.
Okay, I get that's your religious belief.
You don't need research to know that life is
that
life
is your
once at
religious
conception.
belief.
At the point of conception, Charles, life is life.
The truth is, if the Republican Party wants to encourage more Americans to have babies, as opposed to looking to developing world nations and having an open border to raise the population, if the Republican Party wants more Americans having babies, maybe we should make it easier, not harder, for Americans to have babies. And this Alabama decision, the only thing it means is that IVF will be unaccessible.
And Charles, maybe we should tell women, do a better job of who you choose to lay down with.
I know, it's always,
stop laying down with men that are unworthy of you. Stop laying down with men that don't want to produce a child with you.
It's all the women's
And stop
fault.
having sex with irresponsible men.
Okay, so
men can be told the same thing.
Okay.
Stop having sex with irresponsible women.
So if a woman,
irresponsible behavior should not be put upon the taxpayers to pay for those expenses.
How are taxpayers paying for it?
You just said pay for the daycare, make it easier. Make it easier how?
Oh, you don't want a better educational and provision.
Education should be free.
Because here's the thing.
Education should be free.
Republicans care about babies until they're born, right? You care about babies until they're born. You talk about it. So if a woman,
Charles, education should be free in America.
If a young black girl is raped, should she be forced to have that baby?
I agree in that,
well,
in that case with abortion.
It's a life.
Wait 1 second.
It's a life.
Wait 1 second.
How about incest?
No, that was
It's a life.
That's destroying 2 lives.
Okay.
When you rape that woman and she conceived, you're destroying her life and you're destroying the fruit of her womb to have an innocent, productive, loving relationship with its mother and how it was conceived.
Well, she could give it up for adoption.
She could do that.
Okay, but
and guess what? I'd have no problem with that. If she wants to give it for adoption, go ahead.
Don't you think
if she wants abortion for
instead
incest
of telling
or rape,
women
I have no
what
objection
they can
to that.
do with their bodies, instead of making it possible for families that can't conceive naturally to get IVF, how about we find other collectivist
We can do all of that, Charles,
solutions
without destroying embryos.
Okay, how about, what do you mean we can do all? They're not going to. The doctors in Alabama said we're shutting the clinics. It's not going to happen. It's Christo-fascist craziness.
But we can
if
do better
our government,
on both ends,
especially
Charles.
Conservatives, want to make women more likely to have babies, help women have babies.
Charles, but let's help women make better choices about men they laying down
God,
with,
where
they don't need to have abortions.
It's the women's fault if it ain't Whitey's
No, it's
fault.
both of them fault. He can use a condom and she can use protection. He can use a condom, she can use protection.
Okay.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, the NYPD
was getting it.
Has a dance team now, and the dance team putting moves on the screen, and I thought it was a Weight Watchers commercial.
Oh,
to be
come
honest
on,
with
man!
you.
Come on, Quanell.
When I looked
Let's
at
not body shame
I
these
looked
ladies.
at their dance team. I thought it was an episode of Free Willy or something, a Free Shamu, but this was. I don't think it was missing was the donuts and cake, because this is a disgrace to me. You mean to tell me with the crime rate in New York, with the immigrants who are putting a taxation on the government like it's doing in the city of New York, and we always want to talk about how they cutting back on this, cutting back on that. Who's paying for this? Because if I was a taxpayer in New York, if you're going to use my money to pay for this, get me a real dance team. Don't get me a Weight Watchers commercial. Don't get me somebody looking to go to Jenny Craig. This is crazy, brother. In fact, those officers could be of better use mentoring other young women in more positive ways. But them big women there, a dance team, they had no damn rhythm. They absolutely had zero rhythm. Where'd they get them sisters from? Where'd they get them white girls from? That was crazy.
First of all, it was multiracial. There were women of color in there as well.
I said sisters.
And I am shocked that this is your tack right now. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman from New York, is getting dragged on social media because she started melting down about how the money for this should have gone to restorative justice. And of course, restorative justice is just a tremendous fraud to allow criminals to victimize people and go without consequence. And in New York, you talk about New York, I believe the city, Mayor Adams has canceled 5 academy classes to divert funds to get free housing, free hotels, $10,000 free debit cards, free health care for illegal entrants who are then coming to New York and committing a tremendous amount of crime with zero consequences, right? So if you really want New York to be safer, you should say, hey, we don't need to pay for people that come into this country illegally to live their damn life better than we're doing for Americans. They're literally kicking Americans out of all types of facilities, out of
So
schools,
we should
out
be.
of everything.
So the taxpayers should pay for this dance
We don't know
class.
the budget of this.
And this dance team.
You know, but
I hope it's zero.
We do it
I hope it's
probably
zero.
is. Here's the
because
thing.
only thing they need is a bucket of chicken
Here's
and
the
some
thing.
fried collard greens
you need
and some mashed potatoes. Because I'll be damned if I'm a taxpayer in New York City and I'm paying for this. That's crazy as hell.
I will gladly concede that they remind me of, remember in high school, you played football, right? Remember in high school where you had the cheerleaders and you had that dance squad that wasn't good enough to be cheerleaders.
I went to a black high school.
Okay.
When I was growing up,
Right.
them sisters was fine, brother.
And-
All
and-
of them.
but
The
cheerleaders
majorettes,
and-
the
okay.
cheerleaders. Because see, remember,
Okay.
we
But
didn't have
at the end
steroid
of the
food like
day-
they got now.
at the
All
end
that
of the
steroid food they
day-
had in suburban schools,
You know
we
what I'm
didn't
talking
have.
about. Your son plays football. You've seen those bigger, not as talented girls doing
And
the dance
I don't
squad.
know how in the hell they ever became
But
cheerleaders.
here's the thing.
My son got cheerleader in his
Our-
school. She bought $450.
Our opinion of what's going on shouldn't be dictated by your taste or distaste for their appearance, right? And here's my position on it. In the 90s, when I was a policeman, everyone was nice to me, except the criminals. And most of the criminals were, right? That it was you walk into a restaurant, I was in a high crime area, you walk into a restaurant, because everyone knew I was going to be pleasant and nice, because that was my rule. Be a big guy, but be nice. Community policing, everyone's nice, right? And now in 2024 America, everyone hates the police. Everyone's so fast to condemn the police, especially in a city like New York that is overwhelmed with crime. We don't know the daily stressors these women are dealing with. And then now they're getting condemned by people like you because probably when they're not working, right? This is probably an after work event.
They at the buffet.
They are learning dance routines and trying to help recruit for the NYPD, trying to feel positive about themselves, trying to feel some body positivity.
Who they recruiting?
And all you're
Who
doing.
they recruiting?
Hey, man, there are plenty
These
of guys,
women? Who
there
they
are
recruiting?
plenty of guys like curvy girls, all right? And I mean, you've got some suits where that button's straining, so I don't know why you're talking
Let me tell
about
you something.
them, right?
I'm all muscle, baby.
Okay.
No, okay.
At the
I
end
was
of the
about
day,
to show you here, but you know I don't want to shame you.
Come on, show us.
I don't want to shame you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You ain't
brother, let me
showing
tell you
nothing,
something.
right?
I open this
Because
coat
you are
up,
just
brother.
sitting here.
Open this coat up, brother. You're going to see the beautification of black beauty.
You are condemning women of color, because they don't meet your body
They were
type.
not all
And
women
if
of
they-
color.
right, but there are some.
You had a few-
I'd say
you-
about 80%.
You
of
had a
them.
few white girls in there,
I think you had one white girl.
and they all had no rhythm.
But the truth
And that's
is,
what taxpayers are
we
paying
should
for.
Celebrate
With the crime rate in New York,
public
that's what they're
service.
paying for.
We should celebrate public service, and we should recognize that people that work the day-to-day stressful lives of being a New York officer need some sort of
I'd
positivity.
rather them pay the Dallas Cowboy
You sit
cheerleaders to be
here-
their dance team.
Okay. But the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders aren't getting up every damn day, putting on a uniform and
Well,
serving
then
this
go
damn
be
city.
a cop then. The donut,
They are
the
cops.
donut shop is open.
They
Go
are
be a
cops. This
cop.
ain't their full-time
But this
job.
ain't no damn dance team.
You're literally just condemning these women because you think they're fat.
I didn't say
and
that,
I
Charles.
am celebrating these women. Good for these women.
Yeah, I'm celebrating
Good for the
taxpayers.
NYPD.
Don't pay for that.
Oh, well, you want the taxpayers to pay for every guy and every
Not
damn thing
that,
in the
Charles.
world. You want the taxpayers to write you a check just because it's you, right?
No, Charles.
But at the end
But
of the day,
this, Charles-
these public servants,
Charles,
man, it's absolutely
this
despicable.
look like a damn Weight Watchers commercial.
Despicable. You know, I want to start with the IVF situation in Alabama. This is nothing but Christofascism that is going to leave the good citizens of Alabama without the ability to get these medical treatments to help them create families, which that's what America wants. And it is disgusting. We have an anti-establishment clause in our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, and we shouldn't be force-feeding any religion of any type, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever, into the mindsets and the laws of this country. We talk about those NYPD officers, right? Good for them, right? And if they were beautiful in Quanell's vision of beauty, he wouldn't be whining about it. He'd be making perverted jokes. You know, being a law enforcement officer, a good, honorable one, is very stressful. And all the benefits and positives of yesteryear don't exist for most officers now, where people just hate them all the time. In fact, many officers have to hide the fact that they're officers in their day-to-day life just so they're not condemned by strangers and assumed to be awful people. Thankfully, these women are out here contributing to the community, doing things beyond their job, and we should applaud it. And now the girl that was doing the waxing, yeah, it's gross, but it's not pedophilia. Should the mom get some counseling? Should CPS be involved? Yes. Should they take that kid? No. Should she go to prison, the parent? No. That's absurd.
The mother should go to jail. A 5-year-old child allowed by her mother to get between the butt-naked legs of another female and give a wax a 5-year-old child, multiple women, and brag about how much money the child made for the mama? Hell no. She should be locked up, and the women who allowed that inappropriate behavior and activity and what I believe is child pedophilia to take place should be arrested also. They all deserve a jail cell. I agree that life, once it's conceived, is human life. And we have to be very careful with determining when life is life and when it's not. God is the one who makes that decision. And so the Alabama court that ruled that those embryos cannot be destroyed, I have no problem with that. But I also believe that we can find a more effective way to not over-police the situation and not over-criminalize the situation and still protect those eggs that have been fertilized. Now to the police officers, the dance team. Well, I too applaud them. I applaud that y'all trying. But that dance team, I don't think so, baby. The taxpayers of New York, that ain't what you want to pay for. I'm sorry, that's not no dance team, brother.
They're good for those ladies.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.